I think what was great about this placement is that we had a pretty vague idea of what we wanted. We were really sure about some aspects of the placement, but other bits they were just ideas. And I think the great thing about the success of the placement was the partnering that Ros and I did from the university perspective. So sometimes I've had the experience of universities staff or students coming with really preconceived expectations of what they needed to get out of the placement or what they wanted to get out of the placement. And I get that from a standards point of view, but I think what was really nice about this partnership was that Ros very much came in to learn, to understand what it was that we wanted, and she took the time to do that. And that really established the foundation for the placement working from a success, in a really successful way. And of course, those expectations change over time. So I said to Ros very early on, we are notoriously bad at setting really high expectations of what we're going to achieve out of a placement. So we're self-aware. So if you could just let us know at any point in time if you think that's completely impossible, Alison. And she did in a really nice way. But we were able to kind of refine what we thought was achievable in a 5-week placement. And we say the same thing to the students. So that was a really great aspect, I think, of the partnership as well, is that, I'll often say to students when they're doing projects with us, whether they be role emerging or not, we like to get to here, but if you think we're really only going to get to here, that's okay, you let us know. But students find that really hard to do because we're the supervisor and they want to please us. And so what was great about having somebody external to the setting was that Ros was able to reinforce that and sort of negotiate sometimes on their behalf to sort of say, look, they're just feeling like da-da-da, and I'd be like, well, yeah, that's fine, we can move it, we can change the outcome of where we're going to get to, let's forget about this bit and we'll just work on this bit.
And I think the strength of that is that reflects what happens in the workplace. You have this grand plan, but then you've got to work within the time you've got available and the scope and what people have capacity to do. And so that was good.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. And I think it very much helped the students be able to reset what they were trying to achieve and allay some of their anxiety. They still, did the usual finishing off, oh my gosh thing, but I think it did make a big difference to their experience as well. And I think the other thing is that we're all very busy here, because not that everyone's not busy, but, people are often quite difficult to catch. And so I think it helped us, but also helped the students knowing that Ros was there and that we, if we weren't able to answer every question or get to the students in time, that, Ros was there in the wings for the students to be able to go to, and she would then negotiate, back with us. There was a couple of hiccups with students sending things through to Ros but not to us, and not being quite clear about who to send information through to. But again, because we'd established a good foundation, that was an easy thing to fix. It was just really being clear about who needed to get which bits of information and provide feedback on which bits of information. So, so I think clarifying those expectations as we went was a really important aspect, and having enough trust with each other to go, okay, we're all right here. And I think that's really key to that role emerging placement stuff, is that you've got to develop that foundation of trust and ability to work with each other in order for it to, because nothing goes perfectly the first time when you're setting something up. So you've got to have that ability to, back and forth with each other and be okay about that. So I think that was a really key part of the success for the placement working.
Okay. So I think I'll just really back up what you've said, Alison, about that need for really good communication between the external off-site practice educator and the supervisor on site, because supervisors can be really busy, and Alison is extremely busy in her role here. So really negotiating the communication channels. So one of the things that I think it's really important around role emerging placements is that it's really focused on developing the role of OTs within services that may never have had an OT before. With the Institute, there are OTs here, but it's around developing a role, increased scope of practice within an area that is identified where an OT could make a big difference to the outcomes for clients. So what we hope to achieve out of this placement was really and out of this placement style is really to help organisations to grow their capacity to meet the needs of their clients, and to identify those areas where an OT could really bring value to their service, and demonstrate that in a way that doesn't have a lot of cost to the organisation. So having the university-funded practice educator coming in and helping to coordinate the project, having students actually working on the project, to then develop a case for a need for extending the role of OT, I think is really valuable. So the role emerging placement at the Institute's been really valuable for our students. It was really valuable for me as a university lecturer to actually see how our students apply what we teach them at university in a placement context, and really with the project that was written, to see the students apply their skills of analysis and be able to come up with a framework around how you might assess employment organisations in the community to see whether they're going to provide relevant services for people from an Indigenous background with mental health conditions. So that was really good that they were able to extend their learning and actually come up with a framework independently of any input from me. So that was really pleasing as a university lecturer to see our students actually apply some of the skills that we've tried to develop within the university. And at ACU we do have a very strong emphasis on the use of evidence-based practice, and our students developing skills and being able to review and critically appraise the literature. And the students really brought that to this placement in terms of developing a really good evidence-based project report. And I think that Alison certainly gave them opportunities to extend with some data analysis that they did as well, which they wouldn't get the opportunity to do at university. So they were really having to develop skills that independently, and that autonomous role and opportunity to work autonomously in analysing data and presenting information, I think was a really valuable experience for our students.
So I think the role emerging placement that we did in partnership with the ACU was really successful for us. The students were able to produce a report that we were then able to circulate to our social health team that included the framework that Ros talked about, and they also did a presentation to our OT staff who don't necessarily work in mental health, but maybe some of them had an interest in working in that space. So that was a really nice professional development opportunity for our own staff from the students as well. And I think having somebody from the university to sort of instill confidence into the students as well, that they could give something a go, that they didn't have to get it, right the first time, and that was certainly the way we approached it here at the Institute, was a really great iterative process for the students to kind of then feel like they achieve something really productive and useful at the end. So we would definitely do it again, and in fact I've already spoken to Ros about my next idea for a role emerging placement, and I think for us it works really well being able to buddy it with a somewhat of a split placement between some clinical work and some role emerging work as well.